Good evening, everybody. It's so exciting to have such a big audience. Cool, great. Welcome to the April 9th, 2018 Board of Education meeting. Can we have a roll call, please?
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here, thank you. The first item on the agenda is written communication. Do we have any written communication, Dr. Witherspoon?
No written communication.
Great, okay. The next item on the agenda is under information, introduction of tenured teachers.
And I'll just say a few words. So annually, according to state statute, we have the opportunity to tenure teachers who have had 4 consecutive years of very successful experience in the district, and we have invited them to remain in the district and to become tenured. I'm going to turn it over now to Toya Campbell. She is our Chief Human Resources Officer, and she will more or less MC this, and you're going to meet these really fine people.
Good evening. We have the pleasure of tenuring 19 teachers this evening, and we will begin the tenuring process with the Department of Special Education.
There you go.
Or good evening.
Good evening, yes.
I'll begin this evening with Mr. Jeffrey Brock. It is my pleasure to say a few words about him. Mr. Brock has made several significant contributions to the Special Education Department over the last 9 years. Mr. Brock began his career at ETHS as a paraprofessional in the DLP, or Dimensions of Learning program. He supported the students in the DLP program for 5 years while he earned his master's degree in special education from Northeastern Illinois University. Mr. Brock's caring disposition enables him to make positive connections with his students. He and his students demonstrate a deep respect for each other. His students have come to trust that he will support them with their academic and personal growth, while he guides them through curriculum which addresses their needs inside and outside of the classroom. Jeff has demonstrated his commitment to the district by serving on hiring committees, presenting at the Freshman Information Night, and supporting the Wildcat Buddies program. He and his 2 children are very proud to be Wildcats. Congratulations, Mr. Jeff Brock. Next, we have Mr. Sam Cairo. Sam was hired as a long-term sub in the 2013-2014 school year. Because of his collaborative nature and commitment to the students of ETHS, he was hired as a full-time special education teacher the following year. Mr. Cairo has consistently demonstrated his commitment to the students of ETHS through his collaboration with his co-teaching partners and special education colleagues to develop curriculum which challenges and supports our students. Mr. Cairo has established a positive and encouraging rapport with his students. He consistently motivates them to put forth their best effort. Mr. Cairo is a lifelong learner who received his bachelor's degree from the University of Dayton and has recently earned his master's degree from Northeastern Illinois University. Not only is he a behavior intervention specialist, he is also a level 1 Google educator. When he isn't participating in professional development opportunities offered by the district and outside of the district, he is a member of the PBIS committee at ETHS and is on the IEP committee within the Special Education Department. In addition to all of this, Mr. Cairo is the head freshman baseball coach. Congratulations to you, Mr. Cairo. And next we have Ms. Josephine Manigee. Ms. Manigee is a dynamic and enthusiastic educator. She collaborates with her co-teacher and special education colleagues to develop challenging lessons which meet the needs of her students. Ms. Manicki consistently advocates and collaboratively problem solves for her students to support their academic and personal growth. She is committed to supporting the students of ETHS inside and outside of the classroom. She is the assistant director of the ETHS Dance Company. She helps coordinate, does the costuming, and helps direct the annual Spring Showcase, the Winter Dance Workshop, and the Wild Kit Winter Dance Workshop. She's also the co-sponsor of the National Honor Society for Dance and Arts. Ms. Manicki has demonstrated her commitment to her department by participating in professional development opportunities and serving on several committees. She is a member of the PBIS Committee, the Bromley Awards Committee, and the Special Education Spirit Squad. She also co-teaches Access ETHS during summer. Ms. Manicki holds a Bachelor of Science in Special Education from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and a Master of Arts in Education from Olivet Nazarene University. Congratulations, Ms. Josephine Manicki. Next, we have Mr. John Morton, who is an innovative and creative educator that works tirelessly to create lessons which are both challenging and engaging. He works collaboratively with his co-teacher and special education colleagues to develop lessons and materials to meet the needs of all of his students. His optimistic and supportive attitude have enabled him to make positive connections with his students. The students in his classes have developed a deep respect for Mr. Morton. It is always a pleasure going into his classroom and witnessing the excitement of his students while they are engaged in meaningful lessons. Mr. Morton has demonstrated his commitment to the students of ETHS, again, both inside and outside of the classroom. He is the co-sponsor of the Interact Club and the sponsor of the Anime Club. He has participated in the after-school group service and supported students as a tutor during Wild Kit Academy. Mr. Morton is a member of the Spirit Committee, the PBIS Committee, and the Discipline Committee. Mr. Morton demonstrates professionalism through his contributions to the development of the freshman reading curriculum, the learning strategies curriculum, and his collaboration to co-develop and pilot the civics curriculum for the special education department. Congratulations, Mr. Morton.
And we'd now like to invite our newly tenured special education teachers to please come up. The board would like to congratulate you. Yep.
I should have said that those introductions were made by Ms. Chris Cerrone, who is the Department Chair for Special Education, and there is one other teacher who is being tenured in special ed this evening, Ms. Whitney McClellan, who could not be with us this evening. Next round is introduced for Student Services, the AP for Student Services, Ms. Taya Kinsey.
Good evening. You can see it's my pleasure to be able to introduce 3 people this evening. I get to start with Eliza Friedman, who's one of our counselors in Student Services. So you can see from her smile, enthusiastic is the word often repeated about Eliza Friedman. Yeah, you hear some background noise about that. It's clear that she enjoys spending time with her students and families. Eliza's known for her warmth with staff and students alike, and for somehow maintaining the same level of exuberance and positive energy with each student and family she works with. That I can testify to. Her colleagues know how very student-centered she is in her thinking, her creative approaches and interventions, and her dedication to ensuring that each of her students benefit from a personalized focus on their interests, their strengths, and their goals. She's helped our school and department in many ways, from being a leader within our professional development module for social emotional learning to facilitating a support group for transfer students at ETHS, among many things. It is my pleasure to congratulate Eliza Friedman on her tenure at ETHS. All right. Anna Landmeyer is our next fabulous Student Services staff member. Anna Landmeyer is a grade level social worker in the Student Services Department, and she is known among her peers as a professional who is dedicated to teaming. This is evident in her work with various teams, from supporting ETHS events, our professional learning modules, PBIS, and the Substance Use Prevention Committee, to facilitating the Random Acts of Kindness Club. Those are just a few of the things that she does. Her professionalism, her organizational skills, I'm a little jealous sometimes, her willingness to go the extra mile are always apparent in how she supports students and families, as well as makes herself available to consult with and support team members. It's also not lost on us that she is the social work team's unofficial designer and fashion consultant, just so you all are clear. There is no guessing about Anna's hard work ethic. You can find Anna coming in early and staying late on a regular basis. I'm happy to say these words. Congratulations on your tenure at ETHS, Anna Landmeyer. All right, last but not least, Taryn Wanninger. Taryn Wanninger is a special education social worker in our Student Services Department. Colleagues refer to Taryn as having a compassionate and collaborative spirit. She brings jubilant energy, a hard work ethic, and a grounded focus to an out-of-the-box style of problem solving. It's hard to combine all those things at once. Her impact on our school and students comes from her work with various staff and student events and programs, including PBIS, Random Acts of Kindness Club, and alternative to suspension programs, to name just a few. Focusing on students first, staff talk about how much Taryn knows about her students, their family members, their cell phone numbers, their students, the other students' friends, and even their pets, yes. Taryn knows it all. She's also known for not stopping until she creates a plan that helps students succeed. Taryn is a natural advocate. It is an honor to be able to congratulate Taryn Wanninger this evening on her tenure.
And we'd like to invite you up. So impressive. Congrats, Mayor.
Next, we have Mr. Nick Gell, Chair of the Fine Arts Department.
Good evening. It is my privilege to introduce the board to Mr. Bill Simos this evening. Bill started out in CPS and he student taught with us, and we were able to bring him back after a couple years there. And you can always tell how good somebody is going to be by how upset their principal is when you call and make a reference check. And Bill's hiring was special for me because it was my first year at ETHS, and I can remember calling his principal and just asking some of the questions about his experiences there. And the one thing he said to me was, "Oh gosh, how am I going to find somebody else to do all that Bill does?" And after working with Bill for a few years, I can certainly see why he was upset. And I would have been mad at me too. In the department, Bill has had such a profound impact on our program and on his influence with not only students, but also his colleagues. His expertise on creativity, design, and the process of ideation and thinking has really shaped the way we help students plan out their projects. And for somebody like me who goes into other classes, I actually see other teachers doing activities that Bill has introduced to our school. So he's had an incredible impact within the art department. In terms of the larger school, Bill continues to collaborate and work with a lot of programs. As a graphic design teacher, he always tries to create opportunities for his students to create authentic design experiences where they're working with clients. So he's partnered with boosters, the foundation, the theater company, the dance company, all of this in an effort to help students have a real authentic design experience. And I think that really speaks to who Bill is. He's a collaborative individual who always goes above and beyond to create unique learning experiences for his students. And it's my privilege to have him as a member of our department, and I'm looking forward to many more years to come. Congratulations, Bill.
Next, we have introductions for the History Department by Ms. Nicole Parker.
Greetings. This is Alyssa Sobel. Alyssa has taught at ETHS for 6 years. During that time, she has distinguished herself as a member of both the History and AVID departments, teaching one humanities history and all levels of AVID. She's become a valuable member of the ETHS community, serving in a variety of roles, including junior class sponsor, Wild Kid Academy teacher, and a member of the Institute Day Planning Committee. Alyssa's desire to develop herself, professionally, and willingness to reflect on her teaching reflects her understanding that teaching is indeed a craft, an esteemed profession, deserving of the very best practitioners, and deserving of those who are willing to hone their practice in the effort to serve our students. She is deliberate with every lesson that she plans, and she strives to meet the challenge of educating all students who enter her classroom. While the aforementioned is impressive, Alyssa's most important attribute is her heart for teaching. Her actions, care, and attitude signify that teaching is her passion and calling. I'm so proud to welcome her as my colleague, and I'm excited to watch her grow into a master teacher. But I'm most thrilled about the future impact that she's going to have on ETHS students. Congratulations.
We will now hear from the chair for the math department, Mr. Dale Leapforth.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce one of my top 2 math teachers that I'm tenuring tonight, in case anyone's watching at home. It's my pleasure and privilege to recommend Jamie Clifton for tenure at Evanston Township High School. Jamie came to us from Northwestern University and the University of Seville in Spain, where she studied abroad. When Jamie was young, she was an old soul who already showed a passion and interest for teaching, as well as a strength as a lifesaver I learned earlier tonight. We knew we had someone special right away when she was doing her student teaching here at ETHS. Jamie's been incredibly involved at ETHS and in the broader education community, whether it's serving on committees, engaging with professional development, attending conferences, collaborating with her colleagues, implementing best practices with her team teachers. She's always looking to work, learn, and grow. One of the highlights of Jamie's time with us is her passion for all of her students, but in particular, her English language learners. She recently completed her Master's of Curriculum and Instruction with ESL endorsement. Her willingness to support her students is unmatched, and she can often be found running around the school during the day, chasing down and looking to support every one of her many students. I know firsthand of the great care and excellent teaching that takes place in her classroom, as she taught my own son, Joe, last year during his freshman year. Jamie has already contributed so much to ETHS, and I'm excited to see what the future holds and how she can powerfully impact our students. Please join me in congratulating Jamie Clifton. And another one of my top 2 math teachers that I'm tenuring tonight. It's my pleasure and privilege to recommend Erin Mancini for tenure at Evanston Township High School. Erin came to us from Warren Township High School after receiving her degree from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. She recently finished her master's degree in differentiated instruction. Erin's very involved in our school and the broader educational community. She currently supervises our Wild Kids store at ETHS. She presented at many regional and national conferences for both mathematics and CTE departments. She's an active member in the Evanston community, creating powerful connections for students in her classes. Erin is one of 2 teachers of our innovative course, Algebra and Entrepreneurship. For the past 2 years, Erin, along with Chris Manila, who you'll meet in a few minutes, have taught students the foundational elements of the high school mathematics journey while also teaching and guiding them to create their very own business presented to the community in the spring. Erin has also infused cutting-edge technology and alternative instructional strategies to continue to push her students and our profession forward. Erin clearly has a bright future ahead of her, and I'm excited to see how she will continue to have a positive impact on the lives of our students. Please join me in congratulating Erin Mancini.
So Dale set that up nicely for Shelley Gates to introduce Erin's teaching partner, Chris Manila.
Good evening. How's everyone? It's great to see you. I'm a little nervous because my department chair colleagues are really bringing their A game, so I got to try really hard here. Chris also brings his A game every day. Chris Manila is a teacher in our business department. He has a degree in business education from Illinois State University, and he recently completed his master's in education with a focus on curriculum and instruction from Olivet Nazarene University. Chris teaches a variety of business classes in our department, including marketing, personal finance, and of course, algebra and entrepreneurship, a course that he co-developed with the late Ross Freeland and currently co-teaches with Erin, who you just met. Chris truly believes in experiential real-world learning. He develops innovative partnerships with business leaders and community members so that they can serve as mentors for our students, but also so our students can provide their expertise to help business leaders solve their own problems. And that's one of the most beautiful things that happens in his classroom. And hopefully you would all get a chance to see that someday. It's very cool. Chris brings an entrepreneurial mindset to everything he does here at ETHS. Whether he's teaching our students, he's working with colleagues, or he's sponsoring extracurricular activities like our wonderful DECA program. We appreciate his positivity, his sense of humor, and most importantly, his commitment to helping our students find their passions and develop their skills. So congratulations, Chris.
We will next hear from Rachel Gressel in World Languages.
Hi, it's my pleasure to introduce Rachel Kern, our German teacher. In her 4 years at ETHS, Rachel Kern has grown and strengthened our German program. We're actually hiring a new German teacher because of this growth. I asked her colleagues to share what she's brought to ETHS, and I am going to echo their articulate responses. One teacher said, "Though I'm from another department, I've had the privilege of working with Rachel on the German exchange. The program is thriving and is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that helps shape students' futures. Most importantly, she is making the German program one that welcomes all students from ETHS. What was once a traditionally white course is now a course that includes numerous students of color. This is Rachel's goal, and it makes her the type of teacher that meets the goals of ETHS." Another colleague shared, "Rachel is thoughtful, compassionate, and a dedicated educator. From the moment that she began here, she has striven to improve and grow the program, always with the best interests of our students in mind. She is innovative, willing to step out of her comfort zone to find new and exciting ways to engage her students with authentic learning experiences. Her love for German language and culture is only second to her love of teaching her students and preparing them for the real world. Outside of the classroom, she is collaborative and constructive, always willing to learn and share. She is also all around kind and genuine." A third colleague shared, "Rachel has demonstrated a strong collaborative spirit and a willingness to challenge and be challenged. She offers sound, practical advice and is always willing to listen. She always has something nice to say. She has provided a positive, thoughtful, and progressive voice in our department over the past 4 years, and we look forward to many more as she continues to evolve and push the boundaries in our pursuit of increasing the proficiencies of our student and world languages. Congratulations to Rachel Kern."
We will hear from Mr. David Chan from IIT.
Good evening. I'm proud to introduce Miriam Rosen, librarian cataloger at ETHS. It's been a pleasure working with and observing and evaluating Ms. Rosen's teaching over the past 4 years. One of the things that impressed me most from our first year was Miriam's willingness to listen to suggestions and implement them immediately into her practice. This continued all throughout the 4 years, and she has without a doubt grown as a teacher. Interestingly, one of Miriam's very first projects and assignments was to guide our transition to a new web catalog system. I'm getting emails right now about how Evanston Public Library is transitioning this weekend, and I can only imagine how much work it is. Miriam made it seem very easy. I don't know if it was easy, but she made it seem like it was easy. As opposed to earlier days when new teachers were encouraged to do anything and everything at ETHS, we try to keep our new teachers sane and request that they focus on their main teaching responsibilities first. Well, similar to many of the other amazing educators here that we've heard from tonight, Miriam had a hard time keeping a low profile, and she should be extremely proud of her extra projects. Miriam has been a presenter at several conferences and is involved with her field's professional organizations, ISMLA, IRC, to name a few. A few years ago, she started the ETHS Young Adult Book Club. This has grown to include dozens of teachers who read young adult books, engage in rich discussion, and connect with our student group as well, the Books R Us Club, for joint meetings. As a proud member, I thank her for her organization and dedication. You will help me enjoy reading even more. Lastly, ETHS will soon see Miriam's latest venture as she spearheaded a collaboration that featured staff from CT and Fine Arts, including Mr. Simos, to create several book exchange boxes. Similar to those little free libraries that we see in our community, these have been fully built and supported by ETHS. We hope to roll these out in the upcoming weeks, and we encourage our ETHS community to give and take a book and support our other initiatives, including Drop Everything and Read. I know that Miriam has many more ideas, and she will continue to push ETHS to be forward-thinking, student-centered, and innovative for years to come. Congratulations to Miriam Rosen on her tenure at ETHS.
We will now hear from Marie Levatino from the Physical Education and Wellness Department.
Good evening. I have two tenured teachers to acknowledge this evening. Unfortunately, one of them is a softball coach and is at a varsity competition. And if it's okay, I'd like to say a few words about Amy Gonzalez first. It is my pleasure and privilege to recommend Amy Gonzalez for tenure at Evanston Township High School. Amy has been an outstanding asset to our physical education department for the past 4 years. She's consistently collaborating with colleagues and advancing our physical education curriculum to the next level. Amy has taught a variety of courses here at ETHS, including freshman girls PE, wellness, and more recently, bilingual wellness. Amy has been the lead teacher for freshman girls PE for the past 2 years and has been an integral part of modifying and restructuring our freshman curriculum. When you visit a class that Amy is teaching, it's immediately apparent that her student-led lessons are not only engaging and fun, but more importantly, packed with the most current content knowledge that transcends the classroom into the students' everyday lives. Besides her excellent classroom leadership, Amy has been a role model and mentor for student athletes for the past 4 years. She has coached both freshman girls basketball as well as serving as the assistant varsity girls softball coach. Throughout her numerous roles here at ETHS, Amy has excelled every step of the way. We are lucky to have her, and we are excited to see the continued impact she will have on her students' lives. Please join me in congratulating Amy Gonzalez. Okay. It is my pleasure and privilege to recommend Jennifer Tionic for tenure at Evanston Township High School. Her elite experience in dance was our initial attraction. Upon Jen's arrival to ETHS, she immediately began the restructuring of our dance programming and curriculum. She quickly noticed a need for a higher level dance curriculum and single-handedly developed 2 new courses for the master dancer: Dance Thematics and Choreography and Dance Performance. These classes have challenged our dancers to delve deeper into the basics of dance and lead the students to design their own performances and become their own choreographer. Along with her strong background in dance, in Jen, we found a passion for working with students with disabilities. She is our lead teacher for the adapted PE course and co-teaches our interactive PE course as well. When visiting these classes, it is apparent that the relationships that she has with these students is a direct reflection of her patient and compassionate spirit. Outside the classroom, Jen is the head ETHS Dance Company Director and Dance X sponsor. Each year, she directs and organizes a variety of showcases that highlight each dancer's personal potential. Her commitment to a life of dance, along with her devotion to all of her students with special needs, is an inspiration as she continues to sponsor the Dynamite Dancers program, allowing all students to discover their love of dance. It is because of all these roles and numerous other accomplishments that in the 2016-17 school year, the Illinois State Board of Education, Those Who Excel Awards program, nominated Jen the Early Career Educator Award. We are lucky to have her, and we are excited to see the continued impact that she will have on her students' lives. Please join me in congratulating Jen Tionic.
And last but certainly not least, we have Terry Soa Embo in science.
Good evening. You might think you hit rock bottom when you get chosen to go last with this fabulous group of people, but it's actually quite appropriate because I have the pleasure to introduce you to Miss Melanie Ilsman, who is our geoscience and astronomy teacher. Melanie came to ETHS from Iowa 4 short years ago. Don't let that cloud your judgment. We have to laugh. She is dedicated and passionate about geoscience to her core. Since she started teaching, she has become bolder and revamped the entire geoscience and environment curriculum. She is continuously working to make the content relevant to students as they learn about the earth, how it works, and the impact humans are having on it. She designs open-ended labs to allow students to discover and model scientific information. Her use of the Google platform for students to create their own individual websites and assessments is on the cutting edge. Her astronomy and geoscience classes are out of this world, and students create whiteboard videos, TED Talks, and graphical analysis to demonstrate their learning. She is a major user for our new planetarium for both of her courses, and she continues to elevate her own professional development to support 21st century learning. She's recently got very excited and interested in the STEM movement and took it upon herself to do her own professional development on coding. She is now a master coder and works with our She Is Code group, our girls coding group in the school, and also helps with the climbing club. We do not take her for granted. Sorry, I couldn't help it. If you missed some of the other jokes, you can go watch the replay and come back. I look forward to her future contributions to the science department, and I am honored to welcome Melanie as a tenured Earth and Space Science teacher at ETHS. We love you.
We do have one teacher who is not able to be with us this evening. Abdel Shakur is also being tenured in the English department this evening, so we'd like to give him a round of applause. And while you're clapping, keep clapping for all 19 wonderfully tenured teachers this evening.
Well, I just want to reiterate that we are so proud of these tenured teachers. We are so thrilled that they have made a commitment to teach and to serve at ETHS. We are so fortunate to know that they touch the lives of students here every day, and being tenured, we look forward to them touching the lives of students for many, many productive years to come. This is a big deal, and we congratulate all of you. And to all of your guests who are here tonight, glad you could join us, because you can join in the pride and the excitement of these people being tenured. Thank you for being here.
Thank you again for being here. I know that many of you, if not all of you, are going to leave, and that's okay. Thank you so, so much. Yes, table is good. All right. It's always exciting to hear one incredible story after another. So we move right on with our agenda, and our next agenda item is an update on ETHS Educational Foundation and Alumni Association.
And we have with us this evening Joann Birch, who is the Executive Director of our ETHS Foundation, and David Futransky, who is the Director of our Alumni Association. And I'm sorry that you guys cleared the room like you did, but I know it's going to be a great report.
Thank you. As the superintendent said, I'm Joann Birch. I'm the Executive Director of the ETHS Educational Foundation, and I want to thank the board for having us here tonight, David and myself, to give you an update on the foundation and the Alumni Association and how we're partnering and working together to make ETHS the best that it can be. The ETHS Educational Foundation has a mission to raise private support to expand the educational mission of ETHS. We're a 501c3, and we also operate as the advancement department, reaching out to our alumni to help transform our campus. We target extraordinary capital improvement projects that are on the District 202 Capital Improvement Plan. To do this, we build and nurture relationships with the broader ETHS family. Our fundraising efforts include an annual appeal every year, major gifts, planned giving options, and special events. This year, we're celebrating our 10th year of giving, and we mark that by acknowledging that we actually have raised more than this, but we've distributed to the high school $4.5 million in the last decade. That includes $3.5 million towards capital improvement projects, and an additional $1 million for scholarships and other student assistance programs, like the Unterman Fund, which helps students go on field trips and foreign exchange programs and band trips and service trips. Our total support will grow this year exponentially because we project that we will disperse to the high school over $800,000 for capital projects alone and close to $1 million overall. Most recently, the Foundation's impact can be seen in 3 recent improvements on campus. The new ceramics studio opened this year with an open concept layout and a 1-to-1 ratio of pottery wheels for students. We have improved acoustics in the 4 music rooms, and we were happy to partner with the district to support those efforts for the safety and the sound improvements for our students. And last summer, the transformation of Heritage Hallway was one of the projects that the Foundation partnered with the school on, and that has been meaningful to both students and alumni alike. There we go. This slide shows how we have partnered with the school and what those percentages have been. The Foundation works closely with the superintendent and Mary Rodino to identify projects that are on the CIP, that are fundable, that impact a diverse group of students and distinguish our high school from other high schools. When you look at this table, you can see that the Foundation has provided between 35% and 98% of funding on major capital projects like the planetarium, the manufacturing lab, and one that's upcoming, the Chem Fizz Center, where you can see that we are projecting a 98% participation rate. ETHS supporters have confidence in us and are confident about how the school utilizes the funds. They have transformed every corner of the campus, from the football field, one of the first projects in 2008, where we added lights and resurfaced the field, to the wireless campus. Some of these are coming up right now. Those are the STEM labs, the advanced manufacturing lab, the planetarium. We helped put a permanent site for geometry and construction, tennis courts, algebra and entrepreneurship center, and one of our most recent advances was the grandstand for the softball girls, which I hope they're getting to use. I know it's been, the weather this spring has postponed a few games. This year, our goal has been to raise $550,000 for capital improvement programs alone. And we some years we've focused on one particular project. I'm hoping these pictures will come up. There they go. This year we decided to, with the help of Mary Rodino, the CFO, we decided to work towards raising partial funding for 4 projects, including the rehearsal rooms and dressing rooms for the upstairs theater, a welcoming entryway. I hope that picture will come up. There it goes. The new entryway for the athletic wing, which is one component of the Door 3 renovation. And here comes the new engineering lab. And the fourth project is expanding the greenhouse and supporting the urban agriculture program. As it turns out, we're going to be able to augment our fundraising this year. We had originally set our sights on a small renovation of the Chem Fizz Research Theory Center and had worked towards raising $225,000 from Chem Fizz enthusiasts, alums, and past parents. But then we had Dr. Witherspoon and myself and the teachers had the opportunity to meet with alumnus Leonard Schaefer from the class of '63, who was so impressed with the fundraising that had happened already that he has pledged $1.2 million to expand that program. So that we'll have a complete new science center up on the 3rd floor that will not only benefit Chem Fizz students, but will include a research center that will be open to any student who wants to do independent research. As I mentioned when I first started, the Foundation's efforts have been greatly impacted by the collaboration that we have with the alumni relations staff. We're housed in the same office, and that affords us the opportunity to get together, brainstorm, and work for the best outcomes. David Futransky, my colleague, makes introductions on a regular basis to reunion coordinators. And last year, that really paid off when the 50th reunion class made a class gift of over $100,000. And we plan on motivating the class of 1968 and '69 to surpass that. Other ways that we've worked together, affiliate reunions. In the fall, we had a Chem Fizz reunion and a YAMO reunion, and those were springboards for fundraising efforts. And last but not least, our Showcase ETHS was our new fundraising effort. It replaced our annual golf outing. We raised over $100,000 with that effort, and that was a team approach. It highlighted the legacy and the talents of our alumni, and we really were able to work together to raise that money and to also just celebrate the legacy of our alums. At this point, I want to turn it over to my colleague, David, who's going to tell you more about what the alumni at ETHS are doing.
Right. You can keep pushing. You're doing great with those. The Alumni Association represents over 50,000 living alumni. We are the group that helps provide connections between alumni and from alumni back to the school. We provide connections to the foundation. Over 85% of the money that comes into the foundation is coming from alumni donations. So it's a very important connection, and to be able to work together and to partner on how we connect to our alums is a wonderful thing for us. We'll go to the next one. As I said, there are over 50,000 ETHS alumni around the world. We do not charge membership dues. When I came on board 5 years ago, there was a $35 a person charge. We've moved away from that, and we have greatly increased the amount of fundraising that goes to the foundation. We are also currently in the process of updating our alumni directory. If you are an alum, you should have gotten a postcard or an email from the vendor that we use for this. We do this every 5 years. The vendor tells us that, yes, in many other areas, we are in the top 1% of high schools around the country. We have had, in less than 3 months that we've been in this campaign, almost 25% of our alumni respond to update their connection with us. They said that if they get 20% in a campaign of 6 months, that's an amazing number. So our alumni feel very much a connection to us and strongly bleed orange and blue. Go on. We do have a KIT newsletter. It comes out twice a year. Right now it's at the editor. Our spring edition, it has grown to the point that it runs either 12 or 16 pages. And we are moving, and one of the things that we do through this alumni directory, as we collect more email addresses, we're sending the kit out electronically, cutting down on our postage and printing costs. And as Joann said, we help facilitate reunions. We are not a reunion planner, but we do help the members of the classes who are planning reunions. Tomorrow we have a meeting with reunion planners from classes that end in 8 and 3, those who are celebrating this year, and 4 and 9, those who are celebrating major reunions next year. We'll have about 12 or 15 planners from those reunion classes come in and join with us. We have put a big emphasis on 50th reunions, and as Joann said, we went from an average of under $10,000 for a reunion gift to over $110,000 this past year. The class of 1968 has a goal of $150,000, I believe, and my class, the class of 1969, is talking about trying to raise $200,000 for their 50th reunion goal. We currently are also working with our chess team, our current chess alums and our current chess players and our alums. 50 years ago, W. Clement Stone underwrote our chess team going to a national tournament for the first time, which they won. They want to come back and celebrate and work with our current chess team in raising some funds to support their activities. We have a time capsule. There are 4 time capsules that were placed in the building in 1967. We've taken them out. We've opened them up. We've shared things with students. We're now about to put them back in the wall. On May 21st, which I know is the date of a school board meeting, but prior to your meeting, about 6 o'clock in the evening, we're going to place the capsule back in North School lobby. The school board from 50 years ago wrote a letter to the future. It's part of that. It's been shared with the superintendent. And if you would be so kind as to think of some collective remarks that you'd like to put in for people 50 years from now to open up. The 4 wings of the building went up and opened 50 years ago. That's why those time capsules were put in. We're adding with our teachers, with our current students, with our senior class, various things going in to commemorate the present, which we want to share with Wild Kids 50 years from now. We also have our Distinguished Alumni Award. Most of you attend our dinner in December. Now is the time that we are taking nominations. The website, the ETHS website has a place under Alumni Relations where you can nominate people for this award. Currently, we have about 75 people we are reviewing, or the committee will review this summer as potential awardees this year. We're more than happy to take any questions you have.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Questions from the board? Jonathan.
I don't have a question. I have a suggestion. This is all wonderful, but I'm interested in this concept of, do you call them affinity reunion?
Affiliate.
Affiliate reunion,
Yeah.
the Chem Fizz. So
Right.
I have a suggestion which only David will appreciate because he's only the one who has been here long enough, which is a combined studies reunion.
It's a great idea, and I have talked periodically with Owen Hine, Roman Gales, Larry Olson, who were some of the teachers in that program, and it's on our horizon of something we'd like to do in the future.
Great.
It's just finding time and people to pull it together.
Great. Thank you.
Other questions? Mark?
I don't have a question, but a comment, if anybody can hear me over my laryngitis. You know, I'm the liaison to the Educational Foundation Board, and I go to their meetings, and I have to say I'm always impressed with the degree of engagement and the commitment that a very large group of people show on an ongoing basis. And we saw in the early slides the results. And, you know, I just want to remind everybody how important that is, given what we're going to hear a little later from Mary about capital. And we all know that we're a couple of $1 million short every year in our ability to raise capital. And the foundation over the years has done a very important job in filling a portion of that gap. And I just want to express, I think on behalf of all of our board, the appreciation for the work you do and more importantly, the work that your volunteer board does. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Certainly agree with that. As you list some of the activities and sponsors, some of the most important work that we all take such pride for at ETHS, it's just been great to have the foundation really support us and back us up in such a real way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions? So I have one for you, Dave, that time capsule. So did you say on May 21st?
There are 4 time capsules. There is one placed in the lobby of each school.
Yes.
The one in North was placed, it was first. It went in 1960, in the fall of 1966. The one in South was the last one and didn't go in until the fall of '67. We are going to work, we're working with a senior class to put the ones in North, East, and West back sometime this spring between May 21st and their graduation. The one in South we will not be putting back in until the 50th reunion of the class of 1968. They were the presiding class in the fall of '67 when that capsule went in. And among other things, there's a large portrait of the woman who was at the time the South School Girls Club president, who happens this year to be the fundraising chair for the class of 1968's 50th reunion committee. So she is going to, with her classmates, partake in helping to put it in for the second time. We have all sorts of things from students, from history classes, English classes, from fine arts classes with the bowl,
Empty bowl.
Empty bowl. With they're creating a piece of ceramic art to go in one of the boxes. So we have things to go in, but we'd love to have something from the school board. 50 years ago, they wrote a letter that simply said that their purpose of going to 4 buildings was to better serve the students of ETHS and to do it on one campus. And there are, there are yearbooks, there are newspapers from the day, there are all sorts of things like that. We're open to anything you want us to put in.
Okay, thank you. I've made a note and I will think about that, and I encourage my colleagues to think about that. That sounds great. Other questions? Well, thank you again. Thank you for your presentation and all your great work.
Thank you so much.
Good job.
Okay, our next item is the first reading on our policy press issue number 97.
So board, we're in the cycle for the next board consideration of policy updates and additions. This does come from our service, the press,
yes.
And as you can see, it's called issue 97. The board policy committee has met and has recommended the policies in your packet, and that's Ms. Livingston and Ms. Savage-Williams. So if you have anything that you would want to add, board, I hope you've had a chance to review these as well.
Pat.
Yes, I just had a question. I know this is our first read, but the student journalism policy, I just wanted to check in with Eric and Marcus on that. And just, does that, I know we set policy and you all do all the implementation piece, and I just wanted to ask if that policy gives you the guardrails, the information, the support you need to do what you need to do in terms of implementation and the, the practical side.
I think it certainly does, and one of the things is the language that is being proposed actually is taken right out of the statute where the citations already exist, but again, it puts it for people who might not know the citation, but would be able to read the language. Probably the longest discussion was about the requirement of the principal, if it's necessary to take any action regarding a student publication, to inform individuals of that. What it didn't say is to whom, inform or inform whom. And so there was quite a bit of discussion about that, and one of the things that the policy committee asked is that we, in our procedures, will be sure that we outline the steps that the principal would take and how the principal would indeed make that notification.
Thank you. Jonathan.
I just wanted to add that I appreciated Dr. Witherspoon at the policy committee meeting sort of cutting to the heart of things on that question, because there's all this discussion, well, who's supposed to be, to whom is this justification of the restriction to be made? And Dr. Witherspoon said, to the students, of course, which is I think exactly what the law intended, and I appreciated that.
Okay. Other questions? All right, well, thank you, and thank you for the clarity. We appreciate that, and this is our first reading, and we will follow up next month for action.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're at item number 8, comments from the public.
No, okay, there are none.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 9, we have 3 FOIAs. Any comments about those?
Yes, we do. We received FOIAs from Sandal and Duval Brown and B. and Cardi, and all of those have received replies, and it is in your packet.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you. All right, so we're at item number 10, board committee reports. I didn't see any reports in our packets other than the policy committee, so there are no reports. All right, so item number 11, student board report. Emma.
Hello, everyone. It's the first week after spring break, and every senior in the building knows exactly how many school days are left until May 24th. 32. A lot has happened since I last updated you on student activities. On March 14th, over 2,000 ETHS students walked out in the name of gun control reform. Student speakers included Liana Wallace, Sophia Garcia, Genevieve Lindley, Ari Botter, and Max Lehman. At the end of the event, students were encouraged to call their state and federal representatives. Footage of the ETHS walkout made national news, and students left the event feeling empowered, if not a little cold. Since then, students Jasper Davidoff and Troshri Mandal have started to create an event, Lobby in the Lobby, an effort to engage students in the political process. And to top it all off, 9th District Representative Jan Schakowsky spoke to students 4th and 5th period on Friday, April 6th. The event was organized by Student Senate as well as the History Department. Students engaged in a Q&A session and a smaller breakout discussion with topics along the lines of police brutality, mental health, school safety, and gun control at large. April marks the beginning of Get Yourself Tested Month and Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Students are encouraged to visit the health center during lunch periods on Tuesdays and Thursdays for free and confidential STI testing. Getting tested takes a matter of minutes and is an important part of everyday health. Mr. Ronconi and a committee of students have taken initiative to increase awareness of the pervasive issue of sexual assault. There will be t-shirts for sale in the lobby the week of April 23rd, along with information about community resources for victims of assault. Throughout the week, there will be several workshops to raise both awareness and activism of sexual assault. That's all I have for you, and thank you.
Thank you. All right. Dr. Witherspoon, Superintendent's report.
Thank you. Emma, have you made a decision about where you're going to go to college next year?
I will be attending Northwestern University.
All right.
Well, a big life decision, and we're happy for you, and I think you have a thumbs up from everybody here on that decision, so congratulations. So I really only have a few quick announcements, but I do want to be sure that I mention that the spring musical, A Chorus Line, is going to be presented April 19th, 20th, 27th, and 28th. I would say everybody in this room and probably anybody listening in knows that the spring musicals at ETHS are legend. You just simply do not want to miss it. So this is A Chorus Line and two consecutive weekends in April. We have are hosting a family talk series event on Thursday, April 26th. This program is called Understanding Adolescent Substance Abuse and Abuse. It begins at 6:30 p.m. It's in the Welcome Center. It's for parents and guardians of current ETHS students. This Family Talk series is an excellent series, and we hope that folks will come for that. Again, that's on Thursday, April 26th in the Welcome Center. Earth Day Cleanup. It's going to be held here at ETHS on Saturday, April 21st. It'll be from 9 to 11 a.m. Interested volunteers can contact our Community Service Office for more information. We'll welcome all who are interested on that. Want to point out that Emma will not be in school tomorrow because it's the state SAT exam day. That's for juniors, and so our freshmen, sophomores, and seniors will not be attending school tomorrow. I commented to one student going out the door today, see you tomorrow, and I was corrected rapidly, no, Wednesday. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So the students remembered. The deadline for seniors to pay their fee obligations, this is an important one, is this Friday, April 13th. And we've had many reminders going out over and over to seniors and their parents and guardians. We had a big senior assembly earlier this week, again, reminding students of that, but I just can't stress enough. Those obligations need to be taken care of by this Friday, April 13th. And finally, oh my gosh, this is when at ETHS you know it's springtime. Advanced placement exams will be given May 7th through the 18th. And we will have an AP Spring Academy on April 28th. That concludes my announcements or report.
Thank you. All right. So we are at the Finance Committee, item number 13.
Yes.
The district will now conduct a public hearing concerning the intent of the Board of Education to sell $6 million working cash funds bonds, which is item number 13 on the agenda. I know Ms. Rodino is getting ready
She's getting ready, and she'll jump
explain
in
this
and
talk to us some more about this.
Good evening. I have with me tonight Elizabeth Hennessy from Raymond James, and she is our expert on our bond issuance, and we certainly appreciate her guidance. And she also does a lot of financial and debt projections for us, so that, as I said to you, I think at our last meeting, we always know that we're within our limits and within what we can afford. And so I have to be honest and say that Liz is the brains behind a lot of that. And so we worked together on those things, and we wanted to come to you to explain the reasons for the working cash fund bond issue, which is being requested in the amount of $6 million. That we typically do this every 2 years, so that's not 1 year, although as Mark alluded to earlier, we could certainly spend $6 million in any given year and still have a lot of things we need to do. This year we had a particularly large project that I came back to you in March, and we talked about a little bit with some revisions to the CIP program. We are redoing Entrance 3, and I've heard nothing but positive feedback from whether it was when I spoke with Evanston, Leadership Evanston, to, you know, when I speak to parents or students or even alum. Oh yeah, I always hated that part of the building. So I'm really excited about it, and I felt strongly, as many people did, that if we were going to do that particular project, that we should do it right. You know, it hasn't been done in 60 or whatever that is, 50 years, right? So that's a large project, but as you know, we have other things. Just sometimes it's, you know, brick and mortar things. Liz will certainly speak to any of that if we need to. Those are typically the types of projects that keep the debt issuances, the interest on, when people buy our bonds, the interest is tax exempt for them because of the types of projects that are done. Is that a correct way to say that?
Correct.
Please feel free to jump in. And so we just wanted to kind of also mention the timing of how we think this will all work out. And then Liz can explain to you some of the technical pieces. So I'm going to let her talk, and then we'll just sort of go back and forth if needed, and then take questions.
Thank you, Mary. Thanks for having me tonight. So last board meeting, after you discussed the capital improvement plan, you approved the resolution of intent to issue these working cash bonds, which is the first step. You published a notice in the Evanston Review, which started the 30-day petition period. Thank you. And tonight, we're at the point where you have a public hearing on the issuance of these bonds. These are processes required by the statute in order to authorize the issuance. So after tonight, the petition period will expire this Thursday. We will distribute, or already have distributed, the offering document, and we'll spend a good amount of time reviewing that with the district. Then we'll prepare a bond rating agency presentation. 2 years ago, we did invite Moody's Investor Service to visit the building, and Dr. Witherspoon and Mary gave a fabulous tour of the building.
We let Bill Stafford sit in on that one, too.
That's right, Bill.
He was on his way out, but.
Yeah. So at that time, you were awarded the AAA rating, which is the highest bond rating possible, and we presume that will be the case this time as well. So that's tentatively scheduled for May 1st, and then we'll be back to the board with a parameters bond resolution at your regular meeting on May 7th. That will be the last step from the board point of view to authorize the issuance of the $6 million. Then we'll go to market, sell the bonds, and the proceeds should be to the district by the end of May in time to spend on your summer projects.
In a nick of time.
And not all of it will be used this summer.
No,
We've
of course
talked about, the foundation funding that we're hoping for, the large gift that the foundation has secured over a certain amount of time. So we certainly will reserve some of that money for next year's projects, but as you know, our funding is tight every year. We always have more needs than money, and we just try to scale it down and, postpone what we can. So it's a constant struggle, I guess I'll say.
We're very fortunate that Mary has been through this cycle more than once, and Elizabeth, of course, is very familiar with our account, and I think that really serves us well to have this expertise and you have knowledge of the district, we have knowledge of the process, and we are smart enough to know we couldn't do this alone, but we're very pleased to put this forward.
And Liz and I both, when her predecessor, John Peterson, and my predecessor, Bill Stafford, were here, I would say we were always involved in the process, and so it was a pretty easy transition. Bill was leaving the last time we did this, but certainly we were all involved in the presentation to Moody's. So I also have done that presentation when I was with the City of Evanston to a different rating agency. So while it seems sort of like a pressure event, and I always have a conversation with Liz ahead of time, how do you think that AAA is looking? Just because it's always something that we're all concerned about here, clearly. But we are able to really show, anybody can walk in the building and see where we spend the money, which is helpful, right? And we've had those presentations go very well, and so I don't think I get nervous anymore because we have a lot to tell them and a lot to show them. And
that's my job to get nervous,
right,
Mary.
right, it is, right. If we both get nervous, that'll be a problem. So
that's great.
At least not at the same time.
Exactly. And then there's Liz to calm us both.
Yes.
Okay. So that's great. We didn't really have a formal presentation, but we'd be happy to take questions. I don't think we've really determined the specific date of the bond sale. Sometimes it depends on how the market's moving in a particular week, and we really look to Liz to help us facilitate the actual right timing of the sale. So.
Great. That's great. Really glad you're here.
Thank you.
Questions, comments from the board? Thank you.
As I recall, I don't believe we have any written testimony.
Right.
I'm not sure if there are any separate public comments regarding the public hearing on the bonds. I'm not aware of any. I don't. Okay.
We don't.
But you can open it to public comment.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Are there any public comments? Hearing none, we need a motion to finally adjourn this public hearing and a roll call.
So moved.
Second.
Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you again for coming, Liz. Thank you for your work. All right. So we are at our action items. And the first action, item number 14, is approval of sole source purchase of the pool filtration equipment.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. The next item is the consent agenda, which includes approval of minutes from March 12th, 2018, the closed session meeting, March 12th, 2018, regular meeting, treasurer's report from February 2018, approval of bills, personnel agenda, which is the professional staff certified, resolution granting tenure appointments, reappointment of part-time teachers, appointments to staff, exempt certified support staff, safety and nutrition services, change in status, certified overloads and stipends, leave of absence, maternity, which certified, resignation, exempt, intern and extracurriculum, retirement, certified operations, release paraprofessionals, and an addendum.
Move approval.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Now we're at old and new business. Do we have any old or new business to present? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And it's 8:51.
All that tenure teacher stuff, that's quick. Yeah, she had a shot at the world's record, except for the tenured teachers.